Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. It is Thursday, the 16th day of May, 2013, and we are going to be live here for the next 3 hours. Joseph Curl, White House correspondent and reporter for the Washington Times and DrudgeReport.com, will be joining us to give us his take on all the unfolding, exploding scandals. Then Kevin Booth has had, Warner Brothers, pick up his American Drug War 2. I consulted and worked on American Drug War 1, and this one gets into what the drug war is doing to children. And I'm told by people that have seen it, I haven't seen it yet, it's going to come out on, I think it's HBO, absolutely tear-jerking and really exposes the phony drug war. Again, I don't like drugs, folks. They destroy a lot of people. The drug war is meant to keep the prices up to put money into the drug war for the big banks and others. Drugs should be not shown as sexy, but as loserish. Kevin Booth's going to be joining us, and his film actually does that. Larry Pinkney, founding Black Panther, their communications director of the original Black Panther Party, who saw all the COINTELPRO firsthand. He's here in Austin. We flew him in. He's being interviewed for an upcoming film. He's going to be in studio with us in the third hour today. So Joseph Curl, Kevin Booth, and Larry Pinkney today. That said, I told you that my gut told me that this Benghazi Gate thing, after I really saw it explode last week, and now the IRS gate and the spying gate and the harassment of the whistleblowers, the torture coming out of Benghazi, that's what's really serious. That report a month ago that was in the New York Times, but just in the back of the paper, that a congressional bipartisan committee found war crimes of George W. Bush and Obama. That's a big part of this. There's ongoing torture. In fact, Obama has expanded it according to all of our sources and evidence that's come out. I mean, they are torturing at more than 100 sites around the world that are known. 30-something in Iraq, 2 in Guantanamo Bay. They have a big camp and another camp within it. 2 sites there. They're torturing in Egypt at a bunch of sites, in Romania, in Poland, in Ukraine, in Georgia, and in the United States, reportedly, and other locations. And it is hardcore. And again, it is not, quote, real terrorists that are being tortured. It is people for fake confessions, you name it. You cannot believe a word. It's like when our pilots would get shot down by Northern Vietnam and then a year later appear on North Vietnamese TV, and in film releases saying, we're evil, we target civilians on purpose, we drop this and that. A lot of it wasn't true. Everybody knew you don't listen to that. It's not admissible because they admittedly use torture. They put you in a cage smaller than your body for a year. And by the way, everybody breaks and ends up saying whatever they want them to say. Most people would break in a few hours, buried alive, stuff like that. And that's what goes on at Guantanamo Bay. That's what goes on at the camp within it, the CIA base. That's what goes on at these places. And some of these guys are so tough, like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, waterboarded was hundreds of times, that he would not break and confess the things he hadn't done until they brought his kids in and started to go to work on them. And then he said, look, I'll say whatever you want. I'll say whatever you want. And he confessed to bombing buildings that were built 4 years after he was in custody. He was in custody 7 years before he broke. 7 years of torture. 7. You say what you want about Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, whoever that double, triple agent really is, but tough as nails.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. Plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high-performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
Joseph Curl, senior writer and White House correspondent for the Washington Times, also Drudge researcher, DrudgeReport.com researcher, will be popping in at the bottom of the hour via the road, via cell phone, to give us the latest inside. Believe me, he's got all the inside sources on how serious and how big all of this is. The word he gave me is it's going to be the IRS stuff and the spying that's going to probably bring down Obama, not Benghazi. Now, that's when I talked to him yesterday. We're going to see the latest info he's got at the bottom of the hour. Kevin Booth has got his new American Drug War II being put out by Warner Brothers, coming out soon. Very powerful. I haven't seen it, but I've talked to people that have seen it, and there's not a dry eye in the house. It shows what the drug war does to kids. That is all coming up. And Larry Pinckney, former communications director for the original Black Panther Party, to talk about government dirty tricks and more, will be in studio with us. He's here to be interviewed for the Obama Deception Part 2. That's why he's in town. We flew him in yesterday. He got in last night. We've got new Boston bombing info. We've got amazing, the good, the bad, and the ugly on the Second Amendment front. We have Russian government putting in a war fleet into the Mediterranean and an escalation of the Syria situation. Israel says they will bring down Assad if he retaliates for future airstrikes. It's like, we're going to bomb you now, and if you fight back in any way, we're going to basically blow your whole country up. And I think that's reasonable. I think Syria should be nuked and every man, woman, and child killed, and Al-Qaeda should be put in charge. And I think Israel is right to be doing that. So there you go. I support Israel 110%. It's a little bit of satire there. I mean, it just shows how all these governments are completely out of control. And it's even in mainstream news now. Like, I was on some of the Israeli news sites, and the people there are going, why are we putting Al-Qaeda in there? Why are we doing this? I mean, Assad's not doing anything to us. I mean, I'm not a fan of Assad, but the Jews in Israel, in the Jerusalem Post and Haaretz and all the others in Times of Israel, go read the comments. About half of them are going, what on earth is going on here? What is happening here? So even the Israelis don't like what's happening and going on that front. We're going to be getting to all of that. But when I talk about rats leaving the sinking ship, when I talk about things like that, I'm here on air. You know, it's a Thursday radio broadcast, and I'm about to go live a few minutes ago, and I think to myself, what do I cover first in this scandal? Here's the bottom line. I figured that you would see more of a Benghazi whitewash, because if the Republicans got into the open lies where the system has been caught red-handed, covering up, ordering a stand down, their own security force attacking the facility, the stand down, the fact that they got caught lying about the stand down. Now they've put out selected emails to try to cover their trail and say that, you know, they knew nothing. If the Republicans went with that, which they never do, because they don't want to bring down the whole system because they're so tied into it, if they went into any areas of truth on Benghazi, it would bring down Obama. So I said, I don't expect them, and I'm rarely wrong, and I was wrong last Wednesday with the testimony, or was it Tuesday? I said, I don't expect them to really get into this, and they're just going to say it was a screw up, and they were incompetent and try to score some political points. But because the witnesses bucked the gag orders and the threats and went ahead and told the truth, this whole thing blew up in the establishment's face, and now Boehner and people that were basically, you know, involved in a giant whitewash, they are now being forced to talk about, you know, criminal investigations, arrest, in IRS gate, you name it. Because there's total credibility hemorrhaging going on right now. And there's not much blood to run out of this thing left. The globalists are in shock. They're in trouble. This happens throughout history. And so many times people just can't believe that a tyranny has a fall or that tyranny gets damaged. Tyranny is in serious trouble right now. It's flailing around. And if we intensify the attack, instead of standing back and watching the spectacle, if we just fire everything we've got at them politically with the truth and keep pounding and keep discrediting, it's going to give other cowards in the media political cover who don't like what's been going on and who have a conscience. It's going to give them cover to have more of a swarm attack on the corrupt system. And if we get them on Benghazi and IRS Gate and Spygate and all this, it's over, folks. It will give other people courage. See, they've been trying to intimidate all the whistleblowers. Government's been coming down with both feet, trying to shut down any opposition to corruption. They've been trying to have a reign of intimidation. And the minute that dam breaks, which is starting to happen, it will cause a flood that could really bring real reform to this country. But you're going to have to decide that you have power. You're going to have to decide. I'm not even talking to our audience. They know that. I'm talking to mainstream media that listens to this show. You're going to have to decide that you don't want to be total mouthpieces anymore. And you've also got to stop being so arrogant and still thinking that you're able to bamboozle the public. Because a lot of you are sociopathic in your business dealings. You may not even be totally sociopathic, but you behave like sociopaths. And some of you are not just sociopaths, you're psychopaths. But even a cold-blooded psychopath would not want to be involved with this New World Order unless you have a death wish. And some of you are very, very dark. You're in love with darkness, and you're enjoying the spectacle of globalism. But that's a very small percentage of people. Maybe 1/10 of 1% are really, really French kissing the devil and really know what they're into. Most of you are cowardly that serve evil, and you recognize its power, and so you think by embracing it you're going to get power, when all you turn into is a chicken neck slave by serving it, okay? And if you had good natures in you, you would have known that real power is in goodness, but that you wouldn't be good for the power's sake. Because with great power comes great responsibility. But I'm going to stop preaching. I was initially wrong because I'm just so used to the system whitewashing everything. This is blown up. That testimony was real. It was epic. It was historical last Thursday, last Friday as all that broke. And now the power structure is in major damage control. They may stage new wars. They may stage new terror attacks. And even if they did something giant, the cat is out of the bag, the genie's out of the bottle, the horse left the stable, the train left the station, Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall, and all the king's horses, all the king's men aren't going to put it back together again. It is the best of times, the worst of times. It was a time of great knowledge and of incredible foolhardiness, to paraphrase A Tale of Two Cities. You guys actually print me or put up on screen the opening of Tale of Two Cities. I don't want to butcher that citation. The issue here is it is the best of times, the worst of times. That's how the universe works. As great evil rises, great good rises. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's quantum mechanics. But all the ancients knew this. And so as evil tries to take over, it actually opens windows for good to come in and shift the script. There it is. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct to hell. Oh, man. Ooh, the classics. I mean, does that not say everything right there? Ooh, I mean, how could anybody not be incredibly energized right now? But the minute I saw those deputy ambassadors, the minute I saw the head of of anti-terrorism for the State Department, the minute I saw them with tears in their eyes but steel in their jaws and the courage to tell the truth, and the minute I saw the goosebumps on their skin, and I saw that, just like you can see it on me right now, the minute they stepped into the truth, it was like an electrical charge connected, and I went, whoa, I was wrong. This is the fall of Obama if you want it. But it's more than the fall of Obama. It is a chink in the armor. Take that crowbar and just rip it in and reach in there to the heart of the New World Order. Tear it out. Because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, people don't believe they have power. They don't believe the great can fall. They believe these crooks in government with their con man, confidence game, facade of false chutzpah, bravada, machismo, aplomb, whatever you want to call it, it is just that. It is a facade. They are scared. They live lives of fear and insecurity. Now, here's what I'm talking about. They excised 2 days of the emails, and there's emails in there in this fake data leak they've done to cover up Benghazi and act like they didn't do anything, with Petraeus saying, I don't like what you've done. That's why they got rid of him. Just as our sources said back in October. Wow, they were all on target. And now you've got congressmen saying the Justice Department cloakroom was wiretapped. Yeah, that's what senators and people are saying. A lot more is about to come out. And you've got rats running. We've got Slimeball Chris Matthews saying he doesn't like Obama anymore. And you've got absolute minion Bill Press saying it. I mean, that is the signal that the rodents are running in fear. This is the end of Obama. Many anthropologists and archaeologists believe that before man even discovered the power to harness and use fire, we were involved in agrarian activities. That is, taking the seeds of plants and then replanting them to produce more. The very foundation of our modern civilization and human culture is centered around the planting and cultivation of edible plants, fruits, vegetables, nuts, you name it. And the globalists have been going after gardening. They've been harassing people that have gardens in their front yards or their backyards. They've called for licenses for people to have gardens because you can't trust prisoners in the police state America to be able to grow their own food. That's why I've come to the realization that we need to become self-sufficient. You need to be informed. You need to have the Second Amendment to protect yourself. You need to be politically active to wake up others. You need to filter your water. But you also need to plant a garden. Even if you live in an apartment, you can do this. If you live in the countryside, obviously you can do it on a grand scale. There are so many green belts and areas that humans don't even visit, nearby cities and in suburbs, where people are now more and more planting their own little private gardens and meadows and off the side of the road. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a revolutionary act to unplug from the television, to unplug from the computer and all the globalist propaganda, and to go out in your backyard or your front yard or planters at your apartment or on the roof of the building where you live, and to plant a garden.
Here are some of the amazing deals at InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com. The Survival Seed Vault by My Patriot Supply features only the finest survival heirloom seeds for a robust and hardy garden, even in the toughest of times. The ARC All-in-One Seed Kit contains 70 varieties of 50,000 seeds of fruits, vegetables, medicinal, and culinary herbs. All ARC seeds are heirloom. Each type is labeled and sealed separately for ease of use and longevity. The Deluxe Emergency Seed Bank combines 3 of Emergency Seed Bank's top sellers: the Family Survival Emergency Seed Bank, the Medicinal Herb Seeds Pack, and the Culinary Herb Seeds Pack. We also have starter varieties of the deluxe seed packages for fruit, salad, salsa, peppers, and medicinal herbs and more. Go to the InfoWars Seed Center at InfoWarsShop.com.
A little seed can grow a huge tree that produces fruit for up to 50 years. We have the best life bombs. That's what these are. We have the best weapons against death out there at the lowest prices, waiting for you to lovingly plant them and lovingly grow them and lovingly eat them and share them with others. We will strike back against the New World Order, and this is only one more initiative in our fight against them. So please join us at InfoWarsShop.com, or you can link through at InfoWars.com at the InfoWars Seed Center. So, Bill Press, the globalist minion, has now come out and said that Obama is just horrible, basically, and that Attorney General Eric Holder should step down. The Atlantic Wire, that is basically the official White House, one of its official White House propaganda organs, is calling for Holder's head, or saying, it's imminent, that he's going to have to step down after his I don't know, I'm not a crook. Nixon 2.0, or Nixon squared. You've got the guy that said he gets excited, tingle up his leg into his groin area when he hears Obama talk. That's pretty disgusting, imagining Slimeball and Obama hanging out. He says he doesn't get the tingle anymore. So there you go. He does not get aroused when watching and listening to Obama. So there you go. And that's kind of the meter. The canary in the coal mine is if Chris Matthews is not aroused in his groin region when Obama is on television, that's it. I mean, that's kind of like the cooking timer. Ding! All right, Chris Matthews does not want to date Obama anymore. It's all, or whatever it means to have a tingle up your leg. I don't, pretty much everybody thinks that means, or twinkle in the eye. I don't know what, I mean, I have a little bit of humor here because this is so out of control. But, of course, the NSA and Justice Department is tapping Congress. They've caught MI6 and MI5 tapping Parliament in England. This is the illegitimate bureaucracy tapping the real government. The bureaucracy tells Congress they can't see the Homeland Security directives. They tell the Homeland Security Committee, you can't see PDD 51. You can't see our orders for civil unrest. That's dictatorship right there, folks. The central government is now run by foreign interests that control the president, and they're out of control. But the routing of these people has begun. And here is the Congressman Devin Nunes on a radio show. This is big news. This is out of the Weekly Standard. This has been out since last night, saying that they were tapping the cloak room. The cloak room, which is where they go into the little office areas and sit around and talk on the telephone or talk to each other. Let's go ahead and go to that clip.
I don't trust the Department of Justice on this. Do you, Congressman Nunes?
No, I absolutely do not, especially after this wiretapping incident, essentially, of the House of Representatives. I don't think people are focusing on the right thing when they talk about the going after the AP reporters. The big problem that I see is that they actually tapped right where I'm sitting right now.
Wait a minute. This is news to me.
In the House of Representatives.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So when they went after the AP reporters, right, went after all of their phone records, they went after the phone records, including right up here in the House gallery, right up from where I'm sitting right now. So you have a real separation of powers issue here that did this really rise to the level that you would have to get phone records that would most likely include members of Congress? Because as you know, members of Congress talk to the press all the time.
I did not know that, and that is a stunner.
It's a separation of powers issue here, Hugh, and it's a freedom of press issue. And now you've got the IRS going after people. So these things are starting to cascade one upon the other. And you have the White House pretending like they're in the clouds, like it's not their issue somehow.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, and that was Hugh Hewitt's radio show. I think I've been on that show. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what Mitch McConnell said last week. And on Sunday, he said, a lot more is coming out. You ain't seen nothing yet. We're going to come back with that liner. You ain't seen nothing yet, baby. No, you ain't seen nothing yet. And we could sit here and joke around about this. This is very, very serious. Speaking of joking around, more and more people who have not been politically active other than through their satire, like Mike Judge, are speaking out against the New World Order, against things going on. And that's what it's going to take is all of you that have been silent in power positions or just out there upon the fruited plain, all of us have power. We've got to say no to this system. We've got to raise our voices against it. And I've talked to Mike Judge for years, you know, off and on, off the telephone and text messages and things, but we've always both been busy, and I've never really bugged him, so we never hung out. But I hung out quite a bit with him this week, Monday and Tuesday, did a big interview with him. It's about 50 minutes long. We're going to premiere it, shot it at his house in high-def video next Thursday here on the radio/TV show, and it's going to be a news-making interview. A lot of it's about him growing up and but also Second Amendment, things like that. It's pretty powerful. So I want to take you out here with Hank Hill and Beavis and Butthead via the one, the only Mike Judge. Here it is.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
Yeah. Infowars.com. Yeah.
Mike Judge, what is the secret of the universe?
Infowars.com. Yeah.
So, the secret of the universe is Infowars.com with Hank Hill. Stay with us. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.